It was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives. Or at least, hers. The baby shower was in full swing, hosted in the backyard I'd spent weeks transforming. I'd built the pergola myself, stained the deck, even hung fairy lights that glowed, soft and warm, the way she liked them. I thought it was my way of showing her how much I cared, how invested I was in the life we were building together. I'd ordered catering from her favorite place and made sure every detail was perfect. The playlist was one I'd spent hours curating, filled with songs that had marked our journey. From our first dance to our honeymoon. The smell of grilled skewers drifted through the air, mingling with the tangy sweetness of lemonade. Every detail felt like a love letter I'd written, in wood, wire, and effort. But I was just background, noise. She looked so radiant standing there, framed by the string lights. Her white dress hugged her growing belly like an embrace. I remember thinking how beautiful she was, how lucky I was, that she was carrying our child. I was the man who built the crib, who painted the nursery in soft hues of green, who assembled the stroller at 2 a.m. because she'd changed her mind about the color. I was the man who worked overtime to make sure every bill was paid, every craving met, every tear soothed. But as she stood to give her toast, her smile turned to someone else. I saw it, in the angle of her body, the way her eyes glistened when they landed on him. Bryce, the best friend, the man who'd always been around, always ready to help, always too eager to linger. My chest tightened, but I forced myself to smile. Surely she would thank me. Surely she would acknowledge the man who'd bent himself into knots to make this day, this life, possible. I watched her raise her glass, her lips parting in that practiced way, the way she always rehearsed her lines to perfection. "This," she said, her voice warm and honeyed, "is the man I wish I had married. The only true father my son will ever know." She didn't look at me. Her eyes never found mine. She held her gaze on Bryce, who shifted in his seat but didn't look away. The guests fell silent. My ears rang. I thought it might be the wind, at first. A gust that carried her words away before they could land. But no one moved. No one looked at me. No one stopped her. I stood there, my hand frozen around a plastic cup of cheap lemonade that suddenly tasted like bile. My mouth went dry, but I couldn't speak. I was a ghost at my own celebration. The decorations blurred. The laughter from moments ago evaporated like smoke. I tried to catch her eye, tried to find some sign that she meant it as a joke, a slip of the tongue, some misguided attempt at humor. But her smile was steady, her posture defiant. Bryce shifted uncomfortably. His eyes flickered toward me for a moment, then dropped to his lap. Even he couldn't meet my gaze. I waited for someone, anyone, to stand up, to say something, to remind her that I was the man who had built this life with her, that I was the man she'd chosen. But the silence stretched. I heard a chair scrape on the deck, the sound cutting through the fog in my head. A soft laugh from someone in the back, a mutter of conversation that carried no sympathy, no acknowledgement of the man who'd spent sleepless nights worrying about hospital bills and car seats and paint samples. My pulse roared in my ears. My legs felt like they were carved from stone. The lemonade trembled in my hand. I thought of the hours I'd spent here, building, planning, loving her, the nights I'd rubbed her back, whispered reassurances, pressed kisses to her forehead when the world felt too heavy, the arguments I'd let go, the humiliations I'd swallowed, because I thought, that's what a good husband did. I thought of the child she carried, the one I'd been so excited to meet, my son, my heir. The one I'd already pictured taking fishing, teaching to ride a bike, showing how to tie a tie, and in that moment, with her glass raised to another man, I realized I was a placeholder, a wallet, a name on a mortgage, a man who happened to be standing there when she needed a stage. I set the cup down slowly, feeling the sweat of it seep into my palm. I looked at her one last time, memorizing the way the string lights danced in her hair, the way her lips curved around a smile that wasn't meant for me. I turned and walked away, each step heavier than the last. No one called after me. No one asked me where I was going. I could have walked right off the edge of the world, and no one would have noticed. The night air hit me like a slap, cool and damp, carrying the laughter and music that still buzzed behind me. My feet found the path through the yard, the one I'd laid, stone by stone, every piece carefully placed for her comfort. The irony of it nearly made me laugh. I built the road she was walking down. I reached the gate, my fingers trembling as they unlatched it. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I didn't need to see the life I built crumble in real time. I didn't need to watch her raise that glass again and toast to a future that no longer included me. The night swallowed me whole. I walked down the street, my head pounding with every echo of her words. The man I wish I had married, the only true father my son will ever know, and I realized then, the happiest day of her life had nothing to do with me. I'd been the set designer, the stagehand, the one who cleaned up after the show was over, but the star of the play had always been Bryce. Now it felt like the back of a stranger. She opened the fridge, pulled out the carton of orange juice, took a sip straight from it, like she always did, and still, she didn't see me. Not really. Not the man who'd built her dreams plank by plank. Not the man who'd turned a house into a home. Not the man who'd stayed, and that was when I knew she never would. I took one last look at her, the woman I once believed in, once knelt beside, once imagined forever with. And I didn't feel rage. I didn't feel sorrow. I just felt done. Quietly, I picked up the envelope, walked past her, and this time, she looked up, just for a second, a flicker of confusion, a wrinkle in her brow, but I didn't stop. I opened the door, stepped out into the morning light, let the screen door shut behind me with a final whisper, and I breathed. For the first time in months, maybe years, I breathed. No weight on my shoulders, no lies clinging